Guys, I'm in the air hauler office here. It's actually the next afternoon from when I recorded the flight to Bethel. And one thing I almost forgot to do, and I can almost guarantee you I will forget at some point. You can see we now have our Anchorage, Seattle, and Denver bases, but I want to open another base here in Bethel. Why not? It wasn't much of a leg, but, probably isn't going to cost us that much. Actually, it's fairly expensive at $330,000, but there we go. Now, I'm not sure they did an update, so they may have changed the pricing on bases. I know he was working on that to some degree because he said that you can no longer start two bases in one location, which I had never tried to do, but apparently you could do that. So, I don't want to take up too much time sitting here on the ground, but I went and took a look at Petropavlovsk, Kamatsky, Russia. So it looks like, they're saying clear, but then visibility is 0.62 miles, which is a bit limited. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's hazy there. Not too much wind. It looks like we'll, be in the neighborhood of 9 miles an hour. The more interesting thing is we didn't lose our storm, though it does look like it lost a little bit of its definition compared to yesterday. It still is a pretty significant low pressure surrounding that storm. So as far as where we're going, it's right here on this there's Kamatsky. So we're taking our chances. Let's just put it that way. Another little look at what's going on here is this. So that's Kamatsky up there, but they're saying our airport's down here. So it looks like, there's that storm. It seems like it's about in this area here. So we're going to fly right over it, I hope. Hopefully not right through it, but we'll see. And there you go. So it looks like we should be in pretty good shape. So let's head back to air hauler. And by the way, that was Google Earth, so it's pretty cool. You can put the satellite image in there. They have this little weather option down in the corner here, clouds. It says radar, but I don't see any radar until you get into the United States. I doubt that there's no rain out here. It's just probably they probably only get the radar for the U.S., I bet. Something like that. Who knows? So anyway, so you can turn that off. So I'm keeping this open because, I don't know, this is sort of in the storm here. I'm just hoping we can get here and land because we'll be low on fuel, and I'm just going to try to conserve as much of it as I can as we jump over here. So we will go to our fleet, and we still have our one in 100% condition, so far so good. And we will fly this aircraft to UHPP, and I have all my flight plan stuff from yesterday in real life. So we will use selected, and we're just going to fill her on up. It's going to cost us almost $12,000 in fuel. And we shall click OK. And we want to fly all the way up as high as we can. Now, I'm not going to really use this in the game. And then as far as UTC time goes, it's 3 o'clock my time. It's going to be 5 difference. So that means it's should be like 10 in the morning there. So I'm not too worried about it being dark. I hope I'm right about that. So should be well into the middle of the day or even early morning. Not early morning, late morning. Okay, so accept and fly route. Again, we'll put our flight plan in. For this leg, we're going to try to do it manually in the in-flight sim. So I may actually even record that portion of it just because it could be interesting to learn how to do that. All right, there we go. So once I have Flight Sim open and a good amount of the pre-flight done, I will get back to you guys. Okay, so we've got most of our flight planning done. And in a second here, I'm going to release this parking brake. And try to make a bit of a tight turn and hope I see that air hauler message. There we go. We saw the air hauler message. Takes 10-15 minutes to get all the pre-flight stuff done, and then when you don't see that message, it kind of is a bummer. Alright, so rather than doing a pushback, I'm not sure if the pushback is part of the problem or not. But, in any event, we are on our way out to the runway. And I am rhyming. I must be doing well today. So we are going to take off on runway 1. And I like my call sign of Rever. That works out pretty well, doesn't it? So let's get our flaps up. That's one thing I didn't do yet. 10%. We got a fair wind. But I'm sure we could overcome it on the takeoff. Like I've said before, hopefully that storm, when we get to Russia, is relatively minor. So we don't have a lot of options as far as where else to go if we get there. And hopefully there's not a lot of traffic, because we just kind of need to get up in the air and get heading in the right direction and conserve our fuel. Probably try to keep the speed around 200 knots. And just milk it the whole way, you know? I didn't really consider what if I crash into the ocean. I know I was talking about damage.
Approaching 29.
I guess in all fairness, I would have to end the series there. And if I did end this series, I would consider flying around the world the other direction. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get it on the ground. So, another thing to mention to you guys is that I don't know how to use that flight planner in this thing. It just seems so clunky. I'm sure I'm making it harder than it might be, but I ended up going back to SimBrief, and I actually copied the plan out of SkyVector and put it into that SimBrief. It was a little bit goofy because it didn't give me that choice, and then I got things fixed, and then it gave me the choice. If I figure out how to do it again, I may let you guys know, but I'm more muddled through it. It wouldn't have probably made the best video because I'm not even sure exactly how I got it to work at this moment. I couldn't describe it to you intelligently. But hey, this is all part of flight sim. I think it's just learning and having some fun with it and landing without crashing. And if you don't have that, you don't need to be perfect every time. Just get out there, have a good time, you know. And if you're a great flyer, a professional pilot, and absolute precision is your goal, then that's great too. But if you just want to get up in the air and have fun with it and not crash real airplanes, this is the way to do it, you know.
Approaching 36.
Alright, here we go. So let's put on the parking brake for a minute. Since we're holding short, we have a slight checklist to go through. And we'll tune to Bethel Tower, but before we do that, we'll turn off the taxi lights, which are already off. We will turn on our pitot static heaters. There we go, that gets rid of the rest of our caution lights. For the life of me, I don't know why you would hit heading twice. Oh, you know what? It did, that little, I don't know if you can see that little line right there. It did pop up, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. All right, so in any event, switch here to flight and caution, check that we're clear. We got everything clear. Then we want to see heading select, altitude select, and GA. So let's request takeoff clearance. The only caution is our parking brake.
IFR departure, runway 1 left. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, cleared for takeoff, runway 1 left.
Alright, here we go. We're not going to mess around because we're burning fuel.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 1 left. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
on runway 36.
Alright, let's pause for a minute. And make sure there's nothing else to do. Yep, so we want to take our taxi lights off, put our landing lights on. Probably should have done this a second ago. Take this down to white. And take the logo light. Might as well turn it on, even though, I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. So we are ready to go. Let's get this bird in the air. Here she goes. Fast enough to get into the air. Let's hold the nose down a little bit to pick up some
Monitor
speed.
vertical speed.
Yep, exactly, I know. Alright, so we should be good. Let's get our... Yep, so we got another...
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Contact
Flaps up.
center on +25.0.
I was going to say, got another air hauler missing. They want us to contact departure.
For Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Anchorage Center, Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo, is climbing through 1,700.
We're going to cut back on our...
Clear of conflict.
Echo, Romeo, Anchorage Center, Roger.
Down to 900 for the climb.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Turn left heading to
Good, that's what I
90.
wanted to hear. Goofy course.
10,000.
290, they just proceed on course. When they say that, I'm not sure if they mean that I could take, you know, technology instruction before he yells at me. We have our altitude selected to 10,000. And we're still climbing at a good clip, even knocking down on the RPMs. Prop RPMs, that is. Let's get out of this. We got pitch hold. Let's go to IAS. Turn this up to 205. I'm not sure the 205 is that great. I guess it's all... I'm sure there's a lot of theories on what the right climb speed is. This seems to do pretty well for me, so... Alright, let's take a look at this part of Alaska. Looks like a lot of water. I wonder if there's grizzly bears down there. Imagine there is. Very nice. So it looks like we got good weather to take off, obviously. Yeah, and I'm going to hit my nav now. I think we're far enough off course to get VNav going. Far enough away from the airport. Alright, well, I'm going to be quiet for a bit and just let the recording take place. Be back if anything even slightly exciting happens. This, according to this, going past the airport.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Airport is 1 miles. 1 o'clock. Turn right, heading 345.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock. So you waited too long to give me an instruction.
Turn right, heading 345. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
Altitude select. Yeah, he kind of flew us like past it. Not sure why they did that. I'm gonna hit approach, see what happens.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. I have the runway in sight. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. You are 10 miles south. Descend and maintain 2,100. Cleared visual. Runway 34 right approach. Contact Mr.
Alright, we're 10 miles out, so let's get
5
5 degrees of flaps going.
Descend and maintain 2,100. Cleared visual.
Let's start slowing down to 160 knots.
Tower on 118.1. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Vesper Pavlovsk Tower. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. is 9 miles south. Inbound visual. Runway 34 right approach. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Vesper Pavlovsk Tower. Make straight in. Runway 34 right. Altimeter 2,
Turn on our lights, because we always forget to do that, since I remembered at that moment.
Make straight in. Runway 34 right. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
Now, those runways aren't quite lined up, are they? Alright, we're starting to descend, which is good. And
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Cleared to land. Runway 34 right.
cleared to land, so let's turn on our taxi lights, landing lights,
Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
landing gear down, flaps to 15. Oop, why are you beeping at me? See, this thing isn't lining us up right at all. We need to turn that autopilot off. Let's get over. And drop it a good bit. So let's get my view to where I like it. Time to focus on the runway. Yeah, see, that wasn't, something's wrong with that, so.
Flaps.
1,000.
A little course correction there. Let's not level off too much. Above the glide slope, we turned a little bit too far the other way. What's our wind look like? Got pretty much a headwind. See, now we're too high, so let's get down.
Approaching runways.
Alright, let's start cutting our throttle. Oh, that's too much.
Light
Start
slow.
pulling up. It's now too low. Way too low. Kind
Light
of.
slow.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, we'll bleed off some speed.
Light
anyway.
slow.
Yeah, I know. Let's level out for a minute.
Light slow.
That's alright. We're doing okay. Now we're still going down, so let's.
Light slow.
Oh, come on.
Light slow.
There we go. We're getting back to it. Alright, this is why I like ILS
100.
approaches. A little bit too. Oh, come on. Just go straight for that runway. Focus, focus, focus.
Minimums.
Slow down a
Minimums.
bit. A little bit fast, but that's
100.
okay. Let's start pulling up.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
That was a pretty smooth landing, and it said so itself, you know? I mean, I know I was herky-jerky, but, like, you know, in some ways, it's like you could be herky-jerky. You just need to get her on the ground where you need to get her on the ground. I don't see any taxiways here. Not sure where the Looks like it's over there, but what do you do to
Romeo,
it?
Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo. Exit runway when able.
See, I think I see something way up ahead. Yeah, we won't cut across the grass. Yep. So good. At least we got her down on the ground. I guess we can start. Let's get the flaps for one thing. Turn off our landing lights.
4,000 feet remaining.
Probably turn off wing inspection lights. Ooh, shoot, now we're going way too fast. Please make this. Please make this.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
Yep.
Exit runway when able.
Just about to, man. Just about to. Alright, let's hold here for a minute.
Romeo, contact ground on 118.
Approaching 16 right. Approaching 16 right.
Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo, Romeo.
Let's go to the gates this time.
Center Pavlovsk ground. Romeo, Echo, Victor, Echo,
But let's
Romeo.
also start shutting down what we need to shut down. We landed with props at 900. Probably would have been good to do that. Let's take the bleeds to minimum. Alright, let's take the landing lights off. Anti-collision to red. We want to flight switch to taxi. Sorry. Yeah, I did.
Taxi into Gate Golf 11 using taxiway 749er.
Alright, so what else do we want to do here real quick? Control lock on. Really? Alright, we'll try that. Let's turn these to max. Yeah, we made it with a lot of fuel left. 2,000. Nice. Taxi light should be on. Ice protection. Windshield off. Off, off, off. 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 Turn the windshield heat off. Pitot-static tubes off. Autopilot and standby. Altitude bug to 0. Weather radar off. Alrighty, we're getting there. Check flight times and fuel consumption. Alright, let's get the taxi and we can read whatever else is on this checklist after as we're heading there. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, I like to crash. Yeah, all the rest of the stuff is arrival at gate. Pretty sure we got everything. If you look, we do have
Approaching
fog on
16
that one.
right.
Does it indicate ice detected? No, but it's only 4 degrees Celsius here, so that's pretty cool. And I mean cold, not groovy. Oh, welcome to Russia, guys. We made it safely. That storm, I was planning on, you know, getting you guys a view of the storm, but there was really little or no reason. Turn these yaw dampers off. Yeah, really no reason. Probably could even turn off the bleeds. Get the recircle on. But it was just a bunch of clouds. I mean, you probably could see it in the fast forward, though. I fast forward the video and I fast forward the game, so it's probably in the neighborhood of like 16 times is the game, and then it's another. I usually speed videos up about 8 times, so that's why the flight here takes so little time. Get back here. Not much of a gate, is it? Oh, I see luggage handlers out there. Alright, let's slow down again. Make this turn. Here we are at the gate. Parking brake, and go through our at gate checklist. So we want to turn off our taxi lights. We want to put our throttle conditions to start, feather. The engine's cool. Oops, cool. Ah, good. Just go to the right position. And turn on, oh, we didn't turn on our standby hydraulics and our fuel pumps and our auto feather, so we'll pretend we turn those off. Power lever disconnect. Transponder on standby. No steering off. We're just going to leave that on because it's, leave 1 and 2 off. So they have us leaving that on until we get here, but I can't see where that matters too much with no passengers in particular. APU, power, start. Yeah, well, we're not going to do that because we're just going to shut her down. Condition levers, fuel off, anti-collision lights off. We'll leave the plane idling until we're going to turn off these lights. And seatbelt signs, never turn them on. And we'd normally open up the doors, which we would hit Control or Shift E. Oops, what happened there? Yep, main exit opening. That way we can get out. And then start deboarding. Grab a cup of tea, it says on here. So there we go. So I am going to shut down the engines. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's turn the ignition off to the engines. Let's turn the generators off. Turn all the batteries off.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our Dash.
How are you still talking?
We're just waiting for the last of the luggage below.
Oh, goodbye. I was going to say. So I didn't give a chance for everybody to get off the plane, but that's okay. All right. So, guys, I'll see you in a second over in... Actually, we'll probably just exit out of this. Let me just do this. Close window. End flight. Exit. Yeah, I heard one guy make a comment that he doesn't... I always exit this out first. I've never had an issue with air hauler. If you're an air hauler fan, when I finish the flight results here, I've never had a problem like unload. Normally you would unload the cargo first and then hit this button. It'll kind of yell at you if you don't. Yeah, look at that. Nice vertical speed. Even though sketchy approach, I turned it into a nice landing. And there we go. So landing speed of the wind was 8. Came down at 119 miles per hour, knots. And so we're, a little bit fast. I could have come down a little bit slower, but plenty long runway. So, and we got a smooth rating. So there we go. So once again, before I forget, we are going to come here. We are going to open a base. And how much will this cost? $165,000. Wonderful. All right, so we got another base. Let's take a look at all our bases. So there's Denver, Seattle, LHD. So we ended up in Lake Hood, but whatever. We know it's Anchorage. And then Bethel and Petropavlovsk. Sorry, any of my Russian fans. Don't. Yeah. Petropavlovsk. Kamchatsky. Very nice. So there we go. So we got two of them under construction now because we forgot to do Bethel the last time. And let's just jump over here real quick to Sky Vector. Now here's where, if you take a look, we can come in here. I could save this flight if I wanted to, but I don't know. Maybe I should just for the sake of. So there we go. You have to have a login, so you have to register, but it doesn't cost you anything. So we'll just save it for the sake of saving it because I had to manually do this. So I manually figured out these points, and it wasn't perfect, but I got it all to work in the end. If you guys want to see a video on that, let me know. And then if I come here to load, I can come back to KDEN to KDEN and load the plan. And a lot of stuff showing there, huh? Yeah, look at that. The one lonely airport out there. What happened to my... Come on, buddy. Get me... Oh, there it goes. All right, so the next stop will be Tokyo. And that should be another 1,300-mile flight. Yep, so there we go. That'll be the next plan. To land in Japan. And then we'll hit this little island, which I think is a little Japanese... I don't know how little it is, but it's a Japanese base, I think now. Maybe back then it was a U.S. Air Force base. I'm not sure if it changed hands or something. And then from there, it's on to Hong Kong. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I hope you have a good day. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.